1945, the Japanese surrender aboard the... At the subsequent Potsdam Conference, a decision is made on Korea. The 38th parallel is carelessly accepted as a dividing line between the agricultural territory of South Korea and the industrial area of the North. South Korea is occupied by American troops, the North by a Russian army. Long oppressed Koreans cheer the promise of independence and unity. In August 1948, a free election is supervised by the United Nations. However, only the South Koreans vote. The Soviet government forbids any voting in North Korea, the area under its iron fist. With this division of North and South Korea, the fuse is set to the powder keg. The blow falls on June 25th without warning. In a six-pronged drive, the North Korean Communist armies sweep south across the border. The defending forces of the Republic, poorly equipped to stop armored spearheads, begin a series of retreats. If this is a Moscow-inspired test of democratic determination to fight aggression, the men of the Kremlin soon have their answer.
The fact that communist forces have invaded Korea is a warning that there may be similar acts of aggression in other parts of the world. Free nations must be on their guard, more than ever before, against this kind of sneak attack.
The Security Council of the United Nations is called into an emergency meeting at Lake Success by the Secretary General Trygve Lie.
The present situation is a serious one and is a threat to international peace. The Security Council is, Mr. President, in my opinion, the competent organ to deal with it. I consider it the clear duty of the Security Council to take steps necessary to re-establish peace in that area.
A resolution calling upon the authorities of Northern Korea to issue an immediate ceasefire order and recall the invading armies is carried 9-0, with Yugoslavia abstaining and the seat of the Russian delegate empty. The order ignored, General of the Armies Douglas MacArthur is appointed Supreme Commander of United Nations forces, furnishing assistance to the Republic of Korea, and he is presented with the flag of the UN, the first use of this banner in a police action to restore peace. The first American ground troops to reach Korea from Japan, 1 battalion of the 24th Division. Outnumbered, outgunned, American boys untrained for combat fight courageously but cannot even slow up the invaders. And then a clean wind sweeps across America. Tired of defeats, blunder, and appeasements, a nation is revived by the bold acceptance of the Russian challenge. Out on the Pacific coast, one of the Navy's escort carriers is swiftly taken out of mothballs and made ready for sea. A full complement of fighting men go aboard. An American fleet, supported by units of the British Pacific Fleet, steams toward Korea to patrol the coasts. Another Army transport discharges troops at Pusan, vital port of entry on the southeast coast of Korea. The men are drawn from the 8th Army of Occupation in Japan. General Walton H. Walker of the 24th Division constantly tries to plug the gaps in a long, thin defense line. Major General William F. Dean on the right is reported missing. His troops outnumbered, outgunned, out-tanked, but they do buy time. Time to get reinforcements to prevent a Korean Dunkirk. An unprepared America is rushing aid with all speed, spurred to action by the daily news of defeats, of always falling back in Korea. On a field in Arizona, B-29s sealed in plastic are prepared again to fly bombing missions as the Air Force calls trained reservists into active duty. Superfortresses based on Guam are the first to move in toward North Korean skies with orders to disrupt transportation, wreck flying fields. They pick a target and lay their eggs, and enemy back areas take a pounding. But there are not enough of them yet for a saturation job. And now the carrier Valley Forge speeds toward Korea with her jets warming up for the takeoff. In one series of strikes, rocket-firing naval planes, jets from the Valley Forge, and British sea firefighters from the carrier Triumph hit airfields and North Korean communications near the communist capital of Pyongyang. The American Army believes that the best way to stop a tank is with another tank. But the tanks they have in Korea are no match for Russian armor, and the big howitzers try to take over the job. Busan, vital southeast seaport, now sees men and supplies pouring in with the realization that this is no police action, but a major war. More men for the United Nations forces come ashore, and on the Korean roads, the rumble of tanks is heard. Meanwhile, units of the Far Eastern Fleet pound communist positions that are within range. Far from Main Street, USA, Frank, Bud, Max, Jake, and Salvatore, men you knew at high school or shop, face a threat to all of us. They are paying the price, buying time. The casualty lists begin to appear in America as this first hot flame of Russian-inspired aggression threatens a consuming conflagration. Washington's famed Pennsylvania Avenue echoes to the marching feet of United States Marines moving out. The determination on the faces of the men to fight for the right grips the emotions of those who watch them pass. In the granite hills and rice paddies of Korea, a glorious new chapter will be written in Marine Corps history. And there is always this symbol of sacrifice. There is always a woman left behind. With courage and with faith, because we carry in our hearts